Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. Today is Friday, and that means this is the week 5 meal video of my $25 grocery budget challenge of 2025. The way the challenge works is I have $25 cash to spend each week. Any groceries that I have left over, I can carry forward into the pantry that I'm building. The goal, though, is to utilize every strategy available to me so that I can get more for my money than just what $25 cash will buy. I had some fabulous meals this week. I mean, really, really good ones. Check it out. Yes, I spend $25 on new groceries each week using any skills that I have to increase what is available to me. But I also come into each week with the carry forward groceries from the previous weeks. And this is what we've got going into week 5, as well as the week 5 groceries. For breakfast today, I am having toast with peanut butter and homemade blueberry jam. And you can see I was extremely generous with both the peanut butter and the jam. I'm looking forward to this. It snowed overnight. It's not that cold outside, but it is really like slushy, wet, gross. Very dreary day today. I'm going to have salad. I am going to use maybe a third of this salad kit, and I'm going to add in cucumber and tomatoes, maybe green peppers as well. We'll see what else, other little things I've got in the fridge. Starting with the salad actual kit stuff, like look at this. Radishes, all kinds of stuff in here. More radishes. Let me get my other stuff in here. So we have in here tomatoes, I added, cucumber, you see there, and onion and green pepper. I'm going to add on some of the extra stuff now and a little bit of the dressing. There is no way that I'm going to eat this with that dressing like that. If you've been following along for a while, longer than just the challenge, you would know that I don't like a lot of sauces. I'm really very fussy. I do like this dressing. If I turn it into the whole salad and it's just like a tiny little bit, I would never eat a mouthful of dressing. Ugh, gross. I feel like I might have even put a little bit too much on, but do you see how I have it kind of stirred into everything? Oh, I put too much on. Too much for me, not too much for who you might think like, oh, I should have put the whole package on. Too much for me. I am going to make pizza tonight for supper, Friday fun night. Woo! And we've got the dough started here in the bread maker. To go with the pizza tonight, I'm going to make little appetizers, and they are going to be jalapeno poppers. So these are jalapenos that I just picked from inside the greenhouse. Now, the greenhouse is just a little plastic zipper greenhouse. It is outside. It is 0 degrees out there. We are soon going to need to be totally finished with that. But for now, this stuff is still alive. And I just picked these. There's more plants out there. I am going to use a blend of cream cheese, a little bit of grated cheese, some spices, which I have, and I'm going to wrap them in the prosciutto that I bought last week. This is 5 of the 9 jalapenos that I brought inside. I'm not exactly sure how far the prosciutto is going to go, so we'll start with these. The dough rolled out okay. Here, I just can't get that little area. That's fine. This is what it's going to be. We're going to go with homemade pizza sauce since I made it and I have access to anything that I preserved. All right, this is my plan. This pizza pack was $3. I could use the whole pack on something like a pizza for tonight, but the reality is I'm being mindful of my ingredients. I'm trying to stretch everything. And when you're making something like a pizza, as long as you have a little bit of taste of each ingredient, your pizza is going to turn out fabulous. So this is what I did. There happened to be 13 pieces of each kind of meat, the ham, the pepperoni, and the salami, inside the pack. So I have 4 pieces here. That's going to be cut up small for my pizza tonight. I made 2 freezer packs. So this is 2 future pizzas for me. Those are going to go right in the freezer. And that left me 1 of each piece. You can see in there, 1 of each piece. I'm going to put those in the fridge. This is the perfect amount if I wanted to do omelets, or I wanted to do breakfast egg bites, something like that, just to give me a little bit of a taste. A lot really can go a long way. When I said I was going to cut them up in little pieces, I really did mean little. That's pretty decent coverage. Now I'm going to do the rest. This is what we got so far with the onions, the green peppers, and the tomatoes added on. I am using 2 mushrooms, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use the full amount. I'm open to using only 1.5. I feel like I paid a premium for these mushrooms, even though they were the best price this week. $2.97 was quite a chunk of my budget, so I want to make them last as long as they can for as many ingredients and as many meals as possible. I'm going with 1 and a little bit. I processed and froze some red peppers earlier this year, so I preserved them by freezing them instead of preserving them by canning them. I'm going to throw these onto the pizza too. The pizza's ready to go in. I added kale and a little bit of frozen cauliflower, and I'm going to make the poppers now as well and put them in the oven at the same time. I cut this much off of my cream cheese. I did have it setting out to soften, but it's not really that soft. So I'm going to put it in the microwave just for a few seconds so it's pliable. And I'm going to stir in the grated cheese, and I'm going to add spices. I'm really thinking on what spices I'm going to add into it. I don't have any blends. I do have oregano, I've got basil, I've got dill, I've got things. I don't know, maybe I won't put any spices in. I'm doing a thing. I remember having this little freebie that I opened up and used a tiny little bit out of. And I'm going to use a little bit of this in the mix. Not a lot, just a little. I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of that little bit of spice. That's it. And it was free. I'm cutting the prosciutto like this, and you can see I've got it wrapped around like that. Now you guys tell me if these look beautiful or what. I'm pretty excited. I know that that's not how the handsome one makes them when he wraps the prosciutto, but I wanted to get some prosciutto on every piece, and you'll see that I actually have 6 here now that I did instead of 5. I had the cream cheese stuffing left, and there's still a little bit of that left, so I did really, really little pieces of prosciutto on the last 2. Let's get them in the oven. This is a thing of beauty. The house smells amazing. These turned out so good. I am so excited. Pizza doesn't look so bad either. It's pretty exciting. Not sticking. How can you just not love little snackies like these? I plated it up nice and pretty. I'm going to go ahead and guess that there's not going to be any leftovers because the handsome one is eating with me tonight. Both things I'm sharing. Homemade toast with peanut butter and jam for breakfast again today. There were actually leftovers last night, enough for us each to have a piece of pizza and some jalapeno poppers for lunch today. It's a bit of a late supper for us tonight. We were at a gender reveal party earlier today, so that was fun. We are having nachos, and I'm saying we. Yes, I'm feeding the handsome one. I'm going to cook the ground beef. We have cheese. There's onions in the container as well as part of the leftover green pepper. Picked a new green pepper from the garden. I have mushrooms. That's a jalapeno. We are going to have guacamole. And because the handsome one is eating with me, I'm going to put him to work, and he can make the guacamole. Well, make it as much as what we can with the ingredients that we have. And even when I cook this 1/3 pound, I'm going to save a little bit of this out. Cooked, I'll freeze it, and that can be an up and coming pizza topping. All right, we've got nachos, red pepper, green peppers from my garden, onions, mushrooms, the ground beef, and I topped it with jalapenos from the garden. And then this is the quantity of ground beef that I'm saving. I'm going to put this right in the freezer, and this can be for future pizza toppings. Exciting, very delicious. And the handsome one made some mashed avocado with whatever spices he put in. I didn't watch them. I am going to make some breakfast egg cups, so just in my muffin forms, for breakfast for the remainder of the week. I'm going to use egg, of course a little bit of my almond milk to get more out of it. I have the 3 little pieces of cold cuts, mushroom, I've got green pepper from the garden. In here is the leftover when I made the jalapeno poppers. I had some leftover mixture, and I'm going to mix that in as well, and maybe a little bit of grated cheese. I'm also going to add in Swiss chard for sure, and maybe some diced tomatoes because I have those available to me. And I also have some frozen red peppers. I used 3 eggs. I was hoping to get 6 breakfasts. No, sorry, 5 breakfasts, and I'm getting 4.5. So that is what it is. I mixed a little bit of milk in, and I'm going to put the ingredients directly in each cup so that every one of the cups gets a little bit of something. I'm going to try to make a 10th cup, take a little bit from each one, and I'm just going to load them full of the veggies. I decided to sacrifice another egg. So that's my last one, and I'm going to top up all of the rest. Half a mushroom. Okay, this is what we've got. You can see like I did a little blob of the cream cheese from the jalapenos. I dropped one in each one of the little cups. Let's get these in the oven. These turned out pretty good. We're going to eat the first 2, so I'll share with the handsome one, and then I will let these cool and package them up for future days. This looks great. I'm excited. 4 more days of breakfast. These were delicious, and they look pretty smart on in this tray right here. I went a little crazy with the nachos last night. We were at a gender reveal party, and they did have some snacks there, so we didn't really need the quantity that I made, so we're just going to have the leftovers today for lunch. I'm just going to put them on a stone, and we'll get them in the oven to reheat. And nachos for lunch. This totally happened, and I forgot to take the video. I am having honey garlic chicken tonight for supper. I took this out to thaw earlier today, and now it is in the oven. For supper tonight, we are having honey garlic chicken. Dug out the leftover scallop potatoes that we had from earlier last week, and I'm having some of the dill salad. The handsome one is going to arrange his own vegetable side. I don't know what he's going to make. I just don't have enough salad to share, but I'm sharing the rest of the stuff. I'm going to have a little bit of popcorn for a snack. Yay, snacks. Breakfast today are egg bites, one for me and one for the handsome one. These are yummy, actually. I'm making smoothies for lunch. I'm going to use this apricot nectar, but I want to test it first. That was a suggestion, and that's a good idea. To see how sweet it was. Kind of tastes like peach juice. It is sweet. I'm going to add some in here and maybe a bit of water. Smoothies. Let's see what these taste like with the nectar. We both really liked these, so apricot nectar. 3 little juice packs for 33 cents for the win. Woo! I'm going to make some rice with peas, broccoli, and cauliflower to go with the leftover chicken tonight. I'm going to use a bouillon cube, but these cubes are incredibly potent. They dissolve a cube in half a liter of boiling water. That is 500 grams. That is 2 cups if you are thinking imperial. That's a lot. So I'm going to break the cube in half and I'm going to use half of it. This looks okay. Scrounge this up out of the archives and I'm going to use that and add it into this. I'll give that a better stir when I can use both hands. All right, we have the rice veggie mix and the chicken. This is a free item to me. These are dilled carrots that I made, and I can't remember. I didn't make them this summer. I might have made them last summer, so like summer of 2024. And we are just going to have these. You're going to have those as a side. Exciting. Egg bites for breakfast this morning. One for me, one for the handsome one. Smoothies for lunch today. I'm just in the process of cleaning up my little greenhouse. It's like a 2 foot by 4 foot, like a person not quite as tall as me, zipper plastic greenhouse. And I got some green peppers. And these 4 are chili peppers. And this one was a jalapeno that was on a plant that I thought I already stripped everything off of. And I have 2 more plants in it that I think are jalapeno. And then that's the end of that. I can clean that up. And then I have the bigger greenhouse. And when I say bigger, I mean it's like a 4 by 4 and it's also plastic zipper. These 4 jalapenos plus, I don't know, like I might try to revive this plant. Like it's in pretty good shape and it's got some jalapenos on it, but it's got some really tiny ones that, I don't know, maybe they'll grow a little bit more. There's a little tiny one back here. Maybe a little bit more if I bring this in the house. Do I have space to bring this house? Not really, but I'll see what the handsome one says. For supper tonight and tomorrow night, I am making shrimp lo mein with chicken fried fast and fancy rice. Normally I would make one of these meals or the other, but since I am making both, I'll have half of each meal each night. Gives me a little more variety. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the shrimp, and I'm going to use 2 skewers because I'm going to have this 2 nights in a row. And actually, no, if I'm only eating half, I only need to use 1 skewer because I'm having half and half. So I'm going to use the shrimp in the lo mein with the Bangkok style frozen vegetables. I am going to use this last piece of chicken that I have, cooked chicken that I have from, I don't know, I think that was week 1, with the last of my cabbage and egg and peas, and I'm going to have that in the rice. It's going to be great. I've started with the fast and fancy rice, and I threw the peas right in with it. And here I am starting my shrimp and my stir-fry veggies, which are going to go in the lo mein. Everything is coming along really nice. Woo! And the rice is looking good, if we can see that, because we're all fogged up. This is a little better. So I'm prepping the cabbage, the chicken, and the egg. And when this is cooked, I'm going to add the rice into this and then stir it all up. This turned out excellent. Much, much better than what I was picturing in my mind. Great idea. You can see the lo mein underneath there. I didn't stir it in together. I just placed the stir-fry veggies and the shrimp on top. And the rice looks amazing. Yummy. Egg bites for breakfast. The handsome one was in a big rush today and couldn't wait for me to take the video. He has already drank his smoothie and he is doing some errands now. So I'm going to have mine. Take 2 rice and lo mein. I guess chicken fried rice and lo mein. Night 2. Yummy. Breakfast this morning is toast, my last piece of homemade bread, with peanut butter. Simple lunch today, hard-boiled egg, half an apple, cheese slices, dilled carrots that I made and came out of my preserves, a couple dill pickle slices, and some cherry tomatoes. For supper tonight, I am going to eat the last of the salad kit, the last of these 4 tiny little potatoes that I had from week 1. Now I still have potatoes left, but none out of the tiny small bag. And I'm going to have it with chicken strips. I've got the potatoes cut in little discs like this. I tossed them in a little bit of olive oil and I added some oregano and some pepper, and I'm going to get them in the air fryer. This looks pretty delicious. We have chicken strips, excellent potato, I guess, potato, they're not wedges, but they look amazing, and some dilled salad. I actually have salad left. I thought I was going to eat the whole rest of it, but I'm not. There's actually quite a bit. Week 5 is finished. This is what we have left accumulated from one's week through 5, considering this, my pantry, and the beginnings of a stockpile. Let's very quickly go through. Flour, potatoes, syrup, almond milk, brown sugar, cheese, brown rice, oatmeal, lentils, peanut butter, flax, a little bit of popcorn, yeast, nutmeg, cinnamon, oregano, garlic, baking powder, baking soda, 3 bananas, 2 carrots, a cucumber, pasta, chicken, bouillon, beef bouillon. Behind here, this is the apricot nectar. There's 2 unopened, and I have 1 opened in the fridge. Cream cheese, I took maybe about 1/5 of the cream cheese out of there. I don't even think I used 1/4. 2 little oatmeal packs that are the perfect size for breakfasts. I've got 2 cans of tomato soup, a mushroom soup, and a vegetable soup. A little bit of rotini, a little bit of tortilla chips, not enough for a supper, definitely enough for a lunch. I've got rice, mushrooms. Back here, this is the picnic pack, which is ketchup, mustard, relish. Down here, this is the half of a taco kit. So there's taco shells, half a pack of taco seasoning, and here is the hot sauce, which I didn't use. 2 cans of tuna. This is the grease and drippings from the honey garlic chicken. This is bacon grease. I have a brown gravy mix. I have a Parmesan garlic mix. I have 7 apples. I have onions, 5 avocado. This is a half a package of bacon. This is 1/2 of a banana. That's all I have left of my frozen bananas. And I have 3 spaghetti squash. I have eggs. I've got them tucked back in the corner there. There's either 5 or 6. I can't remember. There is a small amount left of yogurt. I have 4 shrimp skewers left out of the 6-pack. A piece of planked salmon. Some frozen strawberries, not a lot. Down in here, there's chicken strips. I have the Bangkok style frozen vegetables, baby Brussels sprouts, peas, green beans, broccoli cauliflower mix. This is a part of a pasta sauce that I froze. Underneath here, there are 4 blocks of frozen squash soup, 2 bricks of butter, plus I have a working butter that I didn't bring over here, a half a package of breakfast sausages, 1 mild Italian sausage, 1 package of boneless ham. This is leftover baked beans. Leftover baked beans. 2 frozen bricks of hamburger soup. I have 1 package of cheese curds. I have 2 that I made little individual packs of deli meats for pizza. This is part of some hamburger that I cooked, and that's a side for pizza toppings as well. I have 2 pork chops, 2 packages of 1/3 pound of ground beef. Pretty awesome. And I ate. I spent $125 in 5 weeks cash, and I've eaten the whole time. Pizza and jalapeno poppers. The week started strong and it started great. Then followed by nachos. How can you go wrong with nachos? You just can't. I had shrimp lo mein and chicken stir fry rice. That was really great. I just had a lot of really great meals that I really enjoyed. Made some breakfast egg bites. Really enjoyed those. I like things like oatmeal for breakfast. I like things like smoothies for breakfast. But when you're not a breakfast eater, there is nothing better than the ease of just going in your fridge and pulling out a little muffin style item, whether it's an actual muffin or an egg bite, and it's just all ready and ready for you. Easy is good. Easy is good when you're trying to get into a habit. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would do so. Like, shares, comments, they help me as well. And of course, stay tuned for Monday when I will upload my week 6 grocery haul. I'm almost done. Not quite. Almost done.